About magic and miracles. That's right. That's right. If magic is all we've ever known, then it's easy to miss what really goes on. But I've seen miracles in every way. Wow. And I see miracles every day. Oceans spanning beyond my sight.
What a selection here on Special Delivery, starring Sam Roberts, primetime Sam Roberts, and Eastside Dave. It's the Insane Clown Posse. I'm not quite sure who's running the board tonight, but it's a good choice. An interesting choice. Yeah, we've heard this song before, of course. It's Miracles by the Insane Clown Posse. But Dave, already tonight, we've heard from Jess, my fiancée.
It's the Night of Stars.
We've heard from Cousin Brucey.
Yep.
But all that aside, especially Cousin Brucey aside,
this is a big one that people are going to love.
A true radio legend has been booked by, I will call this the Sam and Dave machine, because this took both of us working together to book this. But Dave, I'm going to let you intro.
I did the legwork, though, with this one. This is a big-time get for the Special Delivery radio program. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him and you love him. From Sports Grumblings, Johnny Roast Beef.
Johnny Roast Beef sandwiches.
Roast Beef I am.
That's right.
You know, my parents named me John Rakowski, but if you want to call me Johnny Roast Beef.
We call him Johnny Roast Beef.
I'm going to tell you why, Johnny Roast Beef. I just watched Goodfellas the other night, and my God, that's a good movie.
Oh, it is.
And there's a character named Johnny Roast Beef. Plus, you work with a guy named John, right?
I do.
So
John and John.
You gotta, you know, I mean, yeah, it's like they might be giants, you know, two Johns are in the band. It doesn't make sense.
Well, the other John literally is a giant, but
big fat guy, big fat John.
Fat and tubby.
No.
Johnny Roast Beef is not fat. Johnny Roast Beef is,
in fact, he looks like the type of guy who's never had roast beef sandwich in his life.
No. Well, what are your favorite foods, if I may inquire?
I am a big fan of turkey. So I was in my element on Thursday.
Yeah, that's right. Now, I'll ask you this. First of all, you're from Sports Grumblings.
Correct.
You can plug Sports Grumblings if you want.
SportsGrumblings.com, the leader in sports, fantasy sports information.
And where can people listen to that show?
On the Fantasy Sports Channel every Saturday night from 8 to 11.
Well, they won't be listening between 9 and 11.
At least the first hour they can listen.
Yeah.
They can listen to at 8 o'clock, and here's the other thing too. You look like you've got into some scraps. You look like you've beaten some people up. I can tell by the voice.
I've administered a few beatdowns.
The voice,
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's an intimidation type of presence.
Absolutely.
Were you from Brooklyn? Because I know wasn't the other John from Brooklyn or something? Or
I think you're just thinking of Johnny Roast Beef from Goodfellas.
John the Giant is from the Bronx.
And then where are you from?
Hey.
Originally, I'm from Staten Island.
Whoa, hey, oh.
So that's almost Brooklyn.
Hey, everybody!
There you go.
People in Staten Island talk like that. Here's my impression. Hey, come on, let's eat some New York pizza, guys.
Yeah, something like that. It's very close. Yes, absolutely.
Now, do you are you sick and tired of the prejudice against Staten Island? I feel like technically it is one of the boroughs, but you and I both know that's a ridiculous premise. That Staten Island should not be a borough at all.
There's a cultural chasm across the river.
I like this.
Like that.
No wonder he's got a job on Sports Grumblings.
Here's what I've noticed since when I tune into Sports Grumblings.
You tune into Sports Grumblings?
At 8 p.m. I do.
Wow.
John the Giant.
Who needs to do show prep anyway?
That's right, yeah.
Not me.
Well, sometimes for show prep, Dave goes on and tries to ruin your show.
Yeah, that's part of my prep.
And he does. He's very good at that.
Yeah.
John the Giant, he does not have the vocabulary that Johnny Roast Beef has.
The intelligence, either.
You are...
or the looks.
How much do you weigh? I'm going to say 160 pounds.
Soaking wet with a brick in his pocket.
Maybe 2 bricks. I bet you 160. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You're a small. You're a thin person, not small.
Athletic and thin.
What did you play? What sports did you play?
I played a little bit of tennis.
Fantasy tennis.
Okay.
Fantasy tennis too. Yeah. Very big in the industry.
Yes. If you ever want me to come on Sports Grumblings and tell my Pete Sampras story, okay.
I mean, is there any way we can get a preview of it now, or do you want to save it for Sports Grumblings?
It doesn't involve a locker room, does it?
I don't know. I haven't heard it.
It does, actually, in a weird way. This fucking N-word of a tennis player.
Okay, Dave, right there, that's something that's not going to fly on Sports Grumblings. You called him an N-word of a tennis player.
All right.
Am I right in saying that?
We would not get away with that.
Okay.
This Greek scumbag.
That's okay, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Actually, I use it every night on Sports Grumblings with Georgopoulos.
Yeah.
Johnny Roast Beef, this is what happened.
Okay.
I am going to the U.S. Open. It's like 91 or something. So I'm about 13 years old, okay? My friend Pat and my friend Patty Cakes.
Pat Oswald.
No. That would be great if I was friends with him. But who needs him when I got Johnny in my corner?
Johnny Roast Beef.
So,
from Sports Grumblings.
My friend says, listen, Pete Sampras, he's blowing this poor fucking Russian fag out of the water.
Ew.
And, I mean, just tennis-wise, he's destroying this guy.
He's blowing a Russian fag. That's not a...
Yeah, I didn't know what... In the water? Is it like a romantic
Not
thing?
a nice picture.
Me and Johnny Beefcakes are on the same train here.
Okay. Now listen, Bruce the Beefcake, okay? So he's killing this guy, right? So my friend says, it's a blowout. Let's see if we can get down a little closer and see, if we can see Pete Sampras, maybe even meet him, because after the match, sometimes they throw the ball into the crowd or their wristbands. Well, we go, and I don't know how my friend does this, but he's able to find a back alley, a quarter or something. All of a sudden, we're in this own hallway, okay, basically adjacent to the tennis court. Sampras has beaten this guy, and here he comes walking through this hallway to get to the locker room. And we go, holy fucking shit, it's Pete Sampras. Here he is. So we go, there's no one around. So we say, Mr. Sampras, can we have your autograph? Okay. Now, keep in mind, it's not like if he stopped and gave us his autograph, he would have had to give 30, 40, or 100 autographs.
It was just you guys.
It was just us because it was an isolated hallway.
Sure.
No one around. And he says, no, not now, kid. I got things to do.
Ouch.
And I said,
that's the Pete Sampras?
Kid.
Uh-oh.
I have older brothers that are bigger and older than you. I ain't no fucking kid, you fucking dyke.
You called him a dyke?
Yeah. And he goes...
Oh, look, hang on. Somebody's jealous outside the window.
He goes like this.
I'm waving him off. I'm waving him away.
We just waved John the Giant out. No.
Yeah.
I hear him lumbering now.
What an asshole.
We go, and so I said, I called him a lesbian, or a rude name for a lesbian. And,
a dyke.
And he called security on us and gets us tossed out. Not just of that match, the match was over, but he gets us tossed out of the whole fucking complex.
Well, why'd you call him a dyke?
Why would he not sign an autograph for a kid?
You weren't a kid.
I was 13, I said. I was 13.
Yeah, but then you called him a dyke because he called you a kid.
But I called him a dyke because he didn't give me an autograph. That's the story.
I see.
He's 13
Sounds reasonable.
Now let me tell you something about a great man.
Okay.
His name was Boris Becker.
Oh, well, yes.
I saw Boris Becker, on 5th fucking Avenue in New York City. I stopped, I asked him for an autograph. He couldn't have been nicer. Nice blonde-haired, blue-eyed German guy.
You like the Aryan feature.
And he was so nice. And he just signs the autograph. Boris Becker says, have a nice day. And I'm
That's
like,
nice.
Yeah. And I go, you are not. And I go, you represent those Germans well. Those are classy people.
The Germans get some bad PR.
They have.
Yeah, but you like them even in WW too.
Right. I think that's what Johnny's talking about. They got bad PR.
Is that what you were talking about?
I didn't want to mention the war, but...
Right, but you were on their side.
No.
Okay,
no.
Dave, you were?
I was, they had some ideas, as Mark Schott would say.
Right.
Oh, dear.
Now, listen. Oh, dear.
Here's what I want to know.
Howdy. Is Pete Sampras a dick or what?
It sounds like he is. Yeah, absolutely. There you go.
Now,
you just heard it from Johnny Roast Beef from Sports.
Yeah. It's official.
Pete Sampras
is a
Greek dick fuck.
Greek scumbag dyke.
Okay.
Now, your co-host, the guy who claims to be the leader of Sports Grumblings,
yes.
Big John, let's be honest, we both know you are the leader.
I am the brains behind the operation.
I call that guy Big John Stud, by the way.
Big John Stud just walked by, thinking, because he came in, he saw, the attention's finally on Little John.
Yeah.
The attention is finally on you, and he comes by the window thinking, let me get in on this. No. Your buddies Sam and Dave said, get the fuck out of here.
I appreciate it. You are my friends. I appreciate
get out of here.
Well, here's the thing. John, when I go in, and some would say, as Sam said earlier, ruin Sports Grumblings.
Intentionally.
I believe that I'm participating.
You added some flavor to the show.
Yes.
Well, remember the time we had a wrestler barge in on the show and assault them?
Yeah. That was fun. Sorry
about that, by the way.
That's okay.
When I do that, I play to Johnny Roast Beef.
Right.
Because Big John Studd just looks at me like I've got 8 heads.
And he doesn't like it he doesn't like it when you're playing to him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand.
He's very jealous, you know.
He's a
of your
jealous guy.
success.
Absolutely.
And charisma.
He holds me down.
Yeah.
Do you think
literally, he's very heavy.
Yeah,
he's
very heavy.
He's big.
He's a big weight on my shoulders.
Do you think that the reason that he's on the Fantasy Sports Channel is because he's grossly overweight and couldn't possibly participate in an actual sport? Do you think that it might have something to do with it?
Actually, he does have some sports in his background. He did play a little bit of high school football.
I'm gonna be right back.
He used to, though.
Yeah, well, high school was about 30 years ago for him.
Right, he was probably much slimmer.
A little bit.
So he's a bit older, he's a bit fatter, now it's more fantasy sports. Now, what is that, Dave?
Okay, hold on, you'll see.
Okay.
Oops, sorry.
All right, just plug that mic back in there. We're setting something up.
Hold on.
This is very impromptu.